Hey there everyone, welcome back to Film Screeny. Hardcore Pawn is set in American jewelry and loan owned by the Gold family. The show documents the day-to-day operations in the shop. The pawn shop has seen it all. Sometimes a relatively low-quality item is sold at a much higher rate, while a precious item is undersold. Let's take a look at 10 stupidly expensive deals on Hardcore Pawn. But before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. Alright, now let's begin. Number 10. 1941 Chevrolet. Cars like the Chevrolet have always been classics. It is very important for pawn shops to have their old models in their garages as their value only multiplies through time. When such an opportunity presented itself to the American Jewelry and Loan, Les didn't resist. He had a full inspection of the car and then paid a heavy amount for it. It sold for $5,800, making it one of the most expensive purchases on the show. Number 9. Party Bus. Party buses are hard to come by. When the owner found himself desperate to get rid of it so he could use his money on a more worthy party bus, he headed out for our beloved pawn shop. There, Les sensed his desperation and agreed to pay him $8,000 instead of his $20,000. Number 8. Ashley's largest purchase. Ashley Gold was once asked what her largest and most expensive purchase was at the pawn shop. She replied that it was a bracelet and a watch. Although Ashley was nervous about confessing to her dad because she thought he'd be mad, her dad actually appreciated her, saying it was a great deal. He even wore it to her wedding. Number 7. 1976 White Bricklin. Les wanted this car very badly that when the owner left it at his shop, he wanted him to forget about it, which would after a set time declare Les the owner and the driver. The owner offered Les 30 grand, but he wouldn't give anything more than 10. He said it needed much to repair. The owner then decided to pawn the car for just 7,000. If you ask me, it wasn't a bad deal because if he didn't return, Les won a jackpot in just 7,000. Number 6. Mustang. This was no ordinary Mustang, but a special edition that was only for exclusive buyers. The owner of the car paid Les's shop a visit to pawn off their ride for a whopping $95,000. Les and Seth both knew the worth of the car and they just couldn't let this slide. They brought the price down to $67,000. To this day, this is considered to be this series of Mustang's biggest exchange. Number 5. Stolen paintings. This is actually a story of how Les's money was saved. Two people came in with $1 million worth of paintings. Fortunately, before any of the money was exchanged, Les found out that they were stolen through a call with the real owner. If the deal had gone through, Les would have lost millions and would even have been dragged to the court to be a witness to the fraud. Thankfully, he was saved and the shop as well. Number 4. Storage unit. No, this wasn't on Storage Wars. The pawn shop doesn't deal with storage units, however ones such as a rare case appeared on the shop when Les was offered one by his friend. Les and Seth paid the storage unit a visit where Les recognized a bronze eagle statue as a limited edition collectible. Their friend knew how much Les wanted the unit, so he made them pay way more than they should have. The deal was sealed with it being bought by the Golds for $6,000. Number 3. Dr. Death's van. For most of us, this vehicle would be a deathly nightmare, but for the pawn business, it is a jackpot. Dr. Jack Kevorkian's van had been sold to the customer in an online bid. The customer was looking for 6 figures, but endless bargaining brought him down to $20,000. They were quite happy when they later sold it off to the crew of Ghost Adventures for $32,000. They made quite a profit off of it. Number 2. Watch your back. Once Les's trusted friend bought a dazzling watch from which was about $42,000. He didn't have any cash on him, so he promised Les to send him money later, and instead gave him an IOU. Later, Les received thousands of watch bands worth $42,000. Ashley and Seth had tried to warn Les of such happenings, but he didn't pay heed to any of them, leaving himself to pay for what he had done. Number 1. Muhammad Ali's book. Muhammad Ali is America's most celebrated boxer. His legacy is being carried on by several young sportsmen who aspire to be like him. Back in 2003, when his book was released with unseen photographs, memoirs, and the stuff his fans would go mad for, a man bought 2 of them. After years of paying interest on those 2 books, he decided to pawn off the books, one of them being at the American Jewelry and Loan Shop. It was worth 15 grand. Which deal do you think wasn't worth it? Tell us why. I think the watch fraud was very heartbreaking. Well, this brings us to the end of our video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't liked the video yet, it's never too late. Give it a thumbs up, people. We'll see you soon in another video. Until then, take care and goodbye.